You got a little Weezer going on there. A little Weezer, a little Weezer, Weezer. I love Weezer. I love Weezer. I love Weezer. That's a clip only in dreams. It's a very hard to find. I don't know. I guess it's just an obscure clip. I like it, man. It's like them guys in the studio. You know, it's like the way to watch a band, the way to watch a rock band, see if they're real, is to see them live, to see them in the room, in front of in front of you, with their instruments, and play the goddamn song. See how it is. Right? It's not supposed to sound like the album. It's not supposed to sound that polished. So anyway, let's talk about Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, the great. Oh, before we do that, here's an interesting clip I found. It's a it's a thumbnail. I like thumbnails. So it's a thumbnail of a catnip, Trump catnip singer, right? Where the cat is saying. In Chinese, the cat is saying, it's got catnip in it. It's got cat herb in it, right? So, and up here it says something about his hair. Your cat will love his hair. It's just kind of funny, man. So, let's talk about Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, you remember when I've covered Elizabeth Warren extensively. You remember when she cracked open the beer and she was trying to be cool. She's talking about breaking up the big tech and antitrust laws. Some good stuff. Trump tearing into her. Goofy Elizabeth Warren. Right? She was trying to cling herself to Hillary Clinton in the early days. And recently she stuck a foot in her mouth and said women only. Remember at her speech here in Washington Square Park in New York? What else? She, the Pocahontas stuff, right? Is it a disqualifier? People don't seem to care, right? They don't seem to care that she claimed to be of Indian heritage, and it turns out she's less than 1% Indian. And she used that Indian heritage to gain advancement, to game affirmative action laws, right? It's a step to the front of the line because she's an Indian, had a minority. Most importantly, remember when I was here in Washington Square Park? This Make America Great Again. Amazing day when I was walking around in Washington Square Park with the Make America Great Again hat. And I told you that Elizabeth Warren was a formidable enemy, a formidable opponent, that she would rise. And this was 11 months ago. I told you that. I said, don't rule out Elizabeth Warren. Don't rule her out. And now what? In that very spot, she put 8,000 people in front of her. Right? It's amazing, right? So Elizabeth Warren is now a very formidable. Here she is, right? Here's the crowd, right? This was last Monday, 1 week ago today. From 11 months, I told you that Elizabeth Warren would be a formidable opponent against Trump. Now, if you look at Bernie Sanders could easily put this amount of people. We'll talk about Bernie in a second. We'll talk about him at the end. Let's give Elizabeth Warren her fair hearing, because this is a real crowd. This is no bullshit. This is my footage, my camera, my estimation of the crowd, and it was big. It was real. Now, you saw my interviews with the people. I didn't jive with 85, 90% of the people in that crowd, but who cares? Who the hell am I? I'm some idiot on YouTube, I'm just some journalist, right? But the people are speaking and the people are rising up. Now, would I like to see them rise up for Bernie and have only Bernie's, name come out of their mouth? Of course. But that's not the reality. This is reality right here. This is reality. So Elizabeth Warren advances. And why are we talking about Elizabeth Warren today? Why? Because the fake polls, right? Now, I've told you all along that the polls are rigged. The elections are rigged. But it doesn't stop the left, the far left, knows it's rigged. The people that got ripped off in 2016 know that the primaries are rigged. They know that the whole system, the exit polling is off and the machines are most likely rigged and the poll, it's collusion between the media and the DNC. Everybody knows it, but they forget about it. They pretend that it's not going on, and there goes the polling. So recent poll. That's why all the left, the progressive left, is getting all crazy. They're so happy. Oh, Elizabeth Warren has prevailed. Elizabeth Warren is rising to the front, according to what? A poll. A new poll, Iowa Democratic Presidential Caucus poll, done by the Des Moines Register. Des Moines Register? Yeah. Des Moines Register, right? It's Iowa Des Moines Register, right? And CNN, right? The worst trusted name in news. CNN with an 8% approval rating, right? A 92% disapproval rating is putting out a poll saying that Elizabeth Warren, just think about where the information is coming from. Stop and think about it. Think about it. If you believe this poll, then you must trust CNN, that CNN wouldn't rig things. That's basically the bottom line. So the result of this fake poll puts Elizabeth Warren 22%, Biden 20%, and Sanders 11%. So it looks like it's a concerted effort now to do the bait and switch, because Biden can't do what Elizabeth Warren is doing and what Bernie Sanders is doing, right? Can't put 12 people in front of him. Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, not going to happen, right? You try to do it, he'll get embarrassed if he does a rally in Washington Square Park. There'll be nothing but people throwing fruit and spitballs and laughing at him in front of his 12 people. Right? He'll have to hire 12 people to stand in front of him and clap. That's not real. That's not real. That's what Hillary Clinton had. The same thing. Couldn't put maybe 50 people, 100 people in an auditorium, and then when you question them, it turns out that they're paid union guys taking a break. They're paid. They're still on the clock. And they were told, give 2 hours to the convention. They go down to the convention, to the rally, and they stand in front of Hillary Clinton and pretend they're interested. So that's what's going on here. So everybody's so excited. Oh, the progressives are so fucking excited. Listen to Cenk Uygur. This is the Mr. Potato Head from TYT.
Asterisk. There's a second asterisk that I'm going to tell you about in a second. But if the caucus was held today, Elizabeth Warren would win in a landslide. So that's what I was going to tell you. And then, boom, they beat me to the punch. Des Moines Register and a couple other outlets had a poll out.
The Des Moines Register and a couple of other outlets, Cenk, you don't know who did the poll? It's CNN. It's CNN, you fucking potato head.
Second asterisk that I'm going to tell you about in a second. But if the caucus was held today, Elizabeth Warren would win in a landslide. So that's what I was going to tell you. And then, boom, they beat me to the punch. Des Moines Register and a couple other outlets had a poll out that said, yes, Warren has already taken the lead in Iowa.
You see how blind ambition can lead you to believe that Elizabeth Warren is winning based on one false poll, one rigged poll, because Biden can't win. They know that. They're starting to realize that there's just no way. They're going to have to overtly cheat, and then Trump just landslides Biden, right? They know that, right? And they don't want Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders represents the actual truth, the actual platform that all of these other candidates are rallying on. Medicare for all, free college tuition at city and state universities, Green New Deal, break up the banks, military-industrial complex, deflate the budget, right? Bernie Sanders, the only one who voted to decrease the military budget, not increase it. Elizabeth Warren voted to increase the budget. So here's Cenk Uygur, literally foaming from the mouth that a fake poll came out putting Elizabeth Warren ahead of Joe Biden.
Iowa. So 22 points for her. Biden's dropped to number 2. He's at 20. I think Bernie's down at 11. And everybody else is falling. Buttigieg is falling. Kamala's flat. And then they're in single digits.
So he's so happy, right? He's so happy, right? So what does this have to do with anything, right? Why is Elizabeth Warren surging in the fake poll? How is she getting into the head of the media? And because I don't watch mainstream media, and I'm not going to start to now just to follow a stupid race. But I would bet that Elizabeth Warren has two things. She has grassroots belief that she is the progressive candidate that can beat Trump and that can deliver all of Bernie Sanders' policies, universal health care and the things we talked about, right? And break up college debt forgiveness. I believe Elizabeth Warren was the one who started that, so give her credit for that. She was the first that I heard say eliminate student debt in this country. Anybody that owes, I guess, or makes less than $50,000 a year, whatever the number was. And then Bernie Sanders followed that. So Elizabeth Warren gets credit for that. But her affiliation with Hillary Clinton seems to be suspect, right? It does seem to be giving her a bump. There is rumor that they were talking, that they're in cahoots. Now, is that a play for Hillary Clinton to come in and run for president? No, H.A. Goodman. No, that's not what it is. Now, I could be wrong and you could be right, but again, you won't come on my show and talk about it. You're afraid. You're just spinning that shit. So come on the show and let's talk about it. You and I. We should talk about that. Is Hillary Clinton running for president? Fuck no. She is. She's now the financier, the person who can pull strings behind the first woman president, Elizabeth Warren, right? And Elizabeth Warren is the turncoat. As I said, she can rally the troops, and then in the final analysis, she'll turn to the donors and say, "Okay, how can I help you?" That's my assessment of Elizabeth Warren. Now, can Elizabeth Warren stand on the stage and beat Trump? Hell fucking no. Hell fucking no. Let's watch Trump. Let's have fun with Trump.
When I announce they are going to endorse me, because if I lose, should I lose, or if I don't run, they're out of business. Who's going to cover? They're going to cover Bernie? Hey, they're going to cover like Sleepy Joe Biden? They're going to cover Pocahontas? Think of it. Think of it. She of the great tribal heritage. What tribe is it? Let me think about that one. Meantime, she's based her life on being a minority. Pocahontas. They always want me to apologize for saying it. And I hereby, I want to apologize. I'll use tonight. Pocahontas, I apologize to you. I apologize. To you, I apologize. To the fake Pocahontas, I won't apologize. No, it's causing her problems. You know, that name's good because now even the liberals are saying, take a test. Take a test. You know, I shouldn't tell you because I like not to give away secrets. But this one, let's say I'm debating Pocahontas, right? I promise you I'll do this. I will take, you know those little kits they sell on television for $2? Learn your heritage. Guy says, I was born in Scotland. It turns out he was born in Puerto Rico, and that's okay. It's good. You know. Guy says, I was born in Germany. Well, he wasn't born in Germany. He was born someplace else.
All right. So it's Trump at his finest, man. Is Trump going to be... Trump's going to be relentless Pocahontas 100 times in her face, right? He's going to just beat the shit out of her with that fake heritage shit, right? So can Elizabeth Warren standing on the stage next to Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren standing on the stage next to the Orange Monster, leveling her with insult after insult. Forget about policy. Of course, Elizabeth Warren's more correct on the economic policy, of course. But she's also way off on social policy. Women first, immigrants first, take away your guns, right? She's a buffoon in terms of social issues, in terms of what people want in this country. She's not aligned at all, in my view. It seems that people that want economic justice in this country, unfortunately, the people that understand economic justice do lie in the progressive category. But they also are somehow linked to these outrageous social ideas of affirmative action, reparation for slaves, open borders, those sorts of things. It's an error, I guess, an error in judgment. So, Maurice Conte reporting here. Listen, let the fucking Weesh just take us out, man. You walk up to her.